Hey, what's up, y'all? Natalie Milam here, the dope trauma therapist. And today we are talking about couples therapy and how it can help. So, what tends to happen, right? Like you get with your partner, you fall in love, everything's just moving right along, right? Y'all are vibing, everything is all good. And then all of a sudden, ish happens, right? Like you find that you're not connecting like you used to. You're not sharing those gut wrenching laughs like you're used to. And it's almost like, what happened to my best friend, right? And sometimes this is just stuff that's happening. Like there have been no emotional injuries, there's been no infidelity, there are no attachment injuries. It literally is just something has happened, and our bond, that thing that has tethered us together, seems like it is dying a slow death, and it leaves you just discombobulated, like you don't know what to do, right? So this is where couples therapy can be so helpful for you. So in couples therapy with me, what I do with all my clients, I walk you through a 5 phase process, right? So phase one is me really just getting to know you, understanding your love story, like how did y'all come to be the couple that you are today? And then how do we go off rail, right? Like what happened that caused us to kind of detour? Now we're not connecting like we used to. We're not having fun. We're not going out. It's like we're just co-parents. We're just existing in the same space, right? Rather than being partners who were actually showing up for each other, right? So that's what phase one is about. Me really just getting to understand all of that for you. And then in phase two, we really get into some resourcing and also stabilizing your relationship. So every single couple has a negative interaction cycle. Okay. This is when you get set off. Something, your partner does something, it sets you off, right? Like it causes you to start thinking things about yourself, thinking things about your partner, right? Like a lot of times it moves you into thinking you tried to play me, right? Or you're trying to attack me, right? And then at a underneath that, at a deeper level, you really start to think like, damn, I can't do anything right, right? Like I just can't get it right. It doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't matter, how much I show up. My partner doesn't value me, and they act like I can't do anything right, right? That leads to some feelings, right? Some anger, some frustration, but also probably deeper than that, some sadness and even some heartbreak, because it's like, this is my rock. Like, this is my person, the person I've been intimate with. I've shared all my innermost secrets and fears, the person who I trusted. And it seems like they are disengaging from me, right? Like, they are disconnecting from me. They are going away from me. And that hurts, right? So, we're going to get to the bottom of that in phase two. In phase three of our work, like people tend to think that at the end of phase two, we're done. That's really just the beginning. Once we can get back to being at a place of stabilization where we're no longer telling ourselves, like, I'm not good enough for my partner, right? Or my partner really doesn't care about me. When we stop telling ourselves that and we're back at a place of feeling comfortable with our partner, now it's time to go deeper. That's phase three. In phase three, we're going deeper into, okay, what is it within you, right? The things that you brought into this relationship with you that has nothing to do with your partner, right? But that your partner tends to trigger for you. We're going to go deeper into that stuff in phase three, right? And at this time, your partner gets to be a strong, warm, compassionate support for you as you explore those really deep, really scary, and really painful places that exists within you, right? And these are things that typically happen in previous relationships. These are things that have happened in your childhood. It can even be things that have happened not necessarily in the context of a romantic relationship, but maybe heartbreak, losing a friend, grief, and losing a friend, not even just to death, but even like just parting ways with friends. And that might have left you feeling a strong, negative reaction to that. So we get to go deep in phase three, right? And we also get to do some reprocessing work right there whenever there has been trauma within the context of your relationship. Okay. And then in phase four, like we get to really practice how do we want to show up. And so those things that have seemed to be issues for you guys, like the content type stuff, things that you were fighting over, like maybe, co-parenting responsibilities or division of labor within the house responsibilities, who's going to pick up the kids, finances and how we're contributing to the finances, all that stuff, things that have seemed to be issues that y'all keep circling around, then we get to dive into those because now we're stable, right? And we also know what our traumas are. We also know what our triggers are. And so those things are now stabilized. Now we can talk about those things that are actually the issue, right? So when you first come into couples therapy, you're really fighting about every little thing, right? But the thing that you're fighting about on the surface really isn't the thing that's bothering you. It's really that deeper stuff that I talked about that we're going to reprocess in phase three, right? So now when we come back to phase four, now we can talk about all the content stuff. We can talk about, all that stuff. And the issue really gets to be the issue, right? Like whatever we're talking about really is the only issue that we're talking about. We're not bringing in something that happened last night. We're not bringing in something that happened 5 years ago or 3 years ago, or that one time when your mama said this to me and you didn't protect me, you didn't stand up for me, you didn't defend me. That's no longer, we're not talking about that. We're literally just, if we're talking about you forgot to pay my car payment and now they out here to pick my car up, that's the issue. And how do we work through that only one issue, right? Not anything else is underneath it, because we've worked through all the other stuff. We've worked through the deeper negative stuff that was happening on the inside of us and that we've been telling ourselves, right? So now we get to really work towards and talk about, like, how do we want to work on those things in the future so that we can stay connected, right? Like we can still be partners, whether we're married or, engaged or living together or whatever. We still get to be partners and we still get to be connected, but we also get to tackle this problem and resolve this problem in a way that makes sense for both of us. Okay. So that is couples therapy. That's how it works with me. If you are in Georgia or South Carolina and you need a couples therapist, feel free to reach out to me. www.dopetraumatherapist.com. Listen, I'm all about secure love, secure Black love. That's another thing that I'm doing. I'm all about it. Happy to help. Reach out to me today if you need help.